Welcome to Morethanmeetstheseguys and my glory.
Welcome to More Than Mises, guys. This podcast is a journey through Transformers from the beginning of the animated series with two and sometimes three old friends coming at it from different perspectives. Together, we will go episode by episode with the occasional extra to look at how the show holds up or if it is a trap of nostalgia. We'll be looking at all things involved in the episode, whether there are real world factors that crept into the writing or if the episode was typical afternoon cartoon fodder. I'm the lifelong fan, is familiar with all aspects of the show. Jehu here, he's kind of the in-between fan. He knew it, he was into it, took a break, he's back. And Ed, of course, is the guy who knew all about it, but never really got into it when we were all younger. So thank you so much for being here, everyone. I wanted to do it for you, Ed. I found the intro.
Oh
I
yeah,
found the intro, man. And the
good.
thing is, it was on my MacBook, and for some reason, it got lost in my notes app. And I'm like, oh wait, through
That's funny because I was actually going to. I've been listening to some old episodes lately, and I was going to actually transcribe it for you. I'm glad that I didn't have to do that.
yeah, I think I had to riff a little in there, but I mean, yeah, I was like, oh, through the modern technology we have of Steve Jobs figurehead, we actually have where it can go through platforms. So I brought it up on my phone. Eventually, I found it. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, I'm gonna bring this in because every week I see you judging me or just getting close enough, then coming far away. I
I mean,
wanted to surprise you this week.
you could have just pulled an episode up and just and let it and look at the transcription,
Yeah, I could have, but I'm not going to do
it would
that.
have been there.
I could have done a lot of things, man. I could have actually got my MacBook and transcribed it to Word and not had to read it off my phone. I could have done so many things. I chose not to.
I think that's a good motto. I could have done a lot of things. That's how I've lived my life. That's how I've found my success.
As aging nerds, I think that's a pretty well established motto. I could have done a lot of things, but I just didn't.
Um, Ed, you said
What's
you've
up?
been listening to old episodes. I know you said you listened to The Girl Who Loves Power Glide. Did
I
you
did.
find
It
my
was,
love of it, or was it like PTSD?
No, it was the fact that you said in the last episode that it was your favorite episode that we've done, and I was like, and I didn't have a whole lot of memory of it, and so I was like, well, let me go back and listen to this, and it wasn't that long ago. This thing, it was not
Yeah.
before
Right.
I was out for a
Well,
while, so I was like, let me go
yeah,
back and listen to this, and man, that episode is terrible.
it's awful.
It all came back
I
to me.
I just don't think you can enjoy it like I can enjoy it because I wasn't part of it. So I can just enjoy the misery.
That's fair.
Fair enough. Fair
You
enough.
know, it's like an episode of Curb, you know? It's just watching someone not enjoy themselves and having
Yeah.
I've
The
never
the
seen that. I've never seen that.
the secondhand cringe is what Curb's all about.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
the Curb is almost I think I Curb is almost bad for dudes like us. Or
Mhm.
even sometimes like Sarah's the same way. We both just like watch it and it emboldens us to be cranky. You know?
I remember I remember Boo for a while. He would when I was talking to him every so often, he would bring up the meme of him saying like, you know, my mother died. There's an episode about when his mom died. You realize he could use that for anything and get out of anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, God, that's perfect. Um, but man, we are. I gotta say, there are some real world factors in this episode today because we are under a heat dome. I know we live in the
Yeah.
South. I know we
We
live
are
in the
under
South.
but some other real world. We have some housekeeping we need to take care of
Oh,
because last episode we recorded on a Monday, and then on like Tuesday and Thursday, the world was rocked by a series of three or four really celebrity deaths. Right.
Yeah.
So we had
you're not wrong.
Paul Warner, who's tangentially
Theo.
important to the
Right.
show. There's
Man, so many people had died. I'd forgotten about Theo. That's
I
crazy.
know he was the first one. He
Yeah.
was the first one. But then relevant to Jehu was Chuck Mangione, the famous musician.
Da, 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 da.
That was good.
That was for anyone who didn't recognize that name. I'm sure you recognize that melody.
I think you put it best. Like my Kmart shopping soundtrack is
Right.
Chuck Mangione.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, even if you weren't listening to that song, the aesthetic of Kmart Muzak was that sound, was the feels good,
absolutely.
so good sound.
Absolutely was, and they're jam. They're like it's like that. All the kids are the kids these days. They're into all that city pop and all
Right.
that. But I'm just like, well, this is just what he was doing, really. I mean,
Right.
it's cool.
100%.
It's cool. Relevant to me personally, though, was Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
It was like from Black Sabbath, one of my favorite bands of all time, and which prompted I on Tuesdays I take a guitar class, and strangely it's in a church, and so yesterday I like at full crank I played with my teacher. I played Electric Funeral in a church,
Good song.
and that was very cool. And then we get to the divisive one. We get to the one that no one's going to agree on here.
I thought we were going to start. Okay, I'm sorry. Did we forget someone?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes, the notorious piece of trash, Hulk Hogan. Relevant to this episode, though.
I was thinking about it, and I really do think Hulk Hogan's death victory lap, was sort of cock blocked by I don't know if I can say Smurf blocked by by dying so close to Ozzy Osbourne. Because usually when someone dies and they're famous and they were important to you in one point of their life, even if they did a lot of bad stuff, you still focus on the positive. When New Jack died, I didn't focus on all the attempted murder of coworkers. I focused on he tried to murder coworkers for my entertainment.
Well, that same thing happened with when China passed away, because she passed away, and it was like an hour later Prince died. And it was like no one cared about China. That was the end, and no one cared about China anymore. But see, I know that there's the whole thing of separate the art from the artist, and and I'm like, so when it comes to Hogan, like the dude was just a notorious piece of trash outside the ring. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that in the ring he was also a notorious piece of trash and couldn't do anything in the ring, and I have no use for the guy. But he's relevant to this episode. He's relevant to this episode.
I think him dying so soon after Ozzy was bad for his legacy. Like, they sort of have some things in common. They both became household names in the 80s. Ozzy sort of was portrayed as being the worst thing on earth, the satanic panic. If your kids listened to him, they were going to do drugs and kill themselves. Whereas Hogan was portrayed as like, say your prayers, take your vitamins, when really he was, taking steroids and screwing his coworkers over. But in reality, Ozzy was just a sweetie. Ozzy didn't really mean anybody but Ozzy harm, and even that he wasn't very good at, because he lived to 76.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Whereas, so I think because he died so close to Ozzy, you sort of compared those two things, and it was hard to focus on the positive with Hogan.
I can see that. And they were also both at WrestleMania 2.
They were both at WrestleMania 2.
Yep.
I'm going to choose to mourn the fictional character Hulk Hogan.
There you go.
And honestly, if they ever make a biopic of Hulk Hogan, screw his real life. Just make a biopic about the fictional character Hulk Hogan.
The only thing I'll say positive is he got me into WWF wrestling when I was a kid. Because he was like the all-American guy. He was the hero of the ring, as it were. And obviously that was when we were kids. We really didn't understand the eccentricities of all this different stuff going on. But he got a lot of.
He was definitely a gateway drug for me, but I quickly switched to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That was my guy.
Exactly the same. It was Ricky Steamboat, the British Bulldogs, and Randy Savage. And not long after that, I discovered the NWA. And at that point, it was just Dusty Rhodes and the Rock and Roll Express, and Barry Windham were all I wanted to see in wrestling, and that's pretty much how it's been.
Wasn't the Bushwhackers for you?
Hogan doesn't do anything. Hogan's terrible. He doesn't do anything in the ring, and these other guys actually wrestle. So and that's
he should have for a short time.
We gotta hurry up, because tonight Hangman Adam Page is wrestling John Moxley for the AEW World Title.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get the memo.
I'm just kidding. So. But I will have my revenge on Hulk Hogan's legacy, as much as Bruticus had his revenge in The Revenge of Bruticus, the episode that we're covering today. How was that?
There you go.
I think I stepped on that segue like 3 times, so I'm glad you still got to do it.
Well, hand-fisted, but it worked.
I finally got one. So This is written by Mr. Larry Strauss. We've covered Larry Strauss on this show before. We talked about him, but he's the guy that his mother is Charlotte Ray, who played Mrs. Garrett on The Facts of Life.
That's right.
And we've touched on Facts of Life a few times, and then I was a fan, and my grandma loved Facts of Life because she thought Blair was real pretty.
Well, she was.
But I've never, I never really delved into what Charlotte Ray did outside of Facts of Life because that's all I really know her from. But let me list off a few shows that she was on prior to the Facts of Life. This is back in the 50s when she first got started here. So she was on a thing called the United States Steel Hour, Kraft Television Theater.
Were these on the Dumont Network?
The Dumont Show of the Week. the Colgate Comedy Hour. So
that's right.
What happened to these shows that were like just a brand, just advertising stuff? Because the Kraft, the Kraft television theater was a vehicle just for them to promote like Glenn's Imperial Cheese or something like that was the name of the product. That was all it was there for. It was the whole point of the show. What happened? Bring these back. I want to see these. I want to see like Doritos Horror Cinema like on like Saturday nights. I want to see that. Like
right. If you're going to do product placement anyway, why not make make them foot the whole bill?
Yeah, the only product placement I see like that anymore is like bowl games.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the DuPont thing, like you said, because the DuPont network was tying this in here was one of the earliest things that put wrestling on television, and they did it for a very, very long time, and they were very important in getting wrestling to be a thing on TV. But here's the Hulk Hogan connection to this. That Charlotte Ray, after Facts of Life, one of the things that she was in was Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan. Terrible. That Knight Rider with a boat show, that was terrible. But her last big role, though, and tell me if you guys have ever heard of this movie called Ricky and the Flash in 2015. 2015. No. She was in a movie in 2015.
That means she was alive in 2015.
She died like
or at least 2014.
Right. She died like in the 2016 or something like that. Yeah. Ricky and the Flash. Jonathan Demme directed this movie.
Crazy.
Oscar award-winning director Jonathan Demme directed this movie that has Meryl Streep, Oscar award winner Meryl Streep, as a failed rock and roll singer, and it has Kevin Kline and Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl.
I think I do have a vague memory of this. I think I do.
This movie is 10 years old, and it's like it feels like it's brand new. I've never heard of it, but it looks like. It looks like the poster looks like some crazy like Disney Channel movie. This looks terrible, and but I want to see it now because like I'm a sucker for rock and roll movies, and like I went to the theater to see not Light of Day. I saw Light of Day a million times when I was a kid with that had Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett. But there was another one that came out about the same time with Justine Bateman, where she was in some band, and I think
I know what you're talking
Roberts
about.
Was the drummer, I think. And I went to the movies to see that. I went to the actual the dollar cinema to see that movie. And
was it Mariner Mall or was it?
It was Mariner Mall.
Oh, wow.
It was Mariner Mall. Yeah. Because I lived right by Mariner Mall back then in 87, 88 when that came out. Satisfaction was the name of that movie.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
From that era, also Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh
Eddie
God,
Cruisers.
yes.
Yeah, Eddie and Cruisers. That's it, man.
I still hear that song every so often.
Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes did the fake the C grade Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
So there's all these like kind of punk bands that like worship Springsteen now, like the Gaslight Anthem. So I want to see like a C grade punk band that just rips off Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.
Great. Yeah, there was that thing with like Audie's band where you did your post-punk record that was what post-punk band you decided to sound like. And then your second record, you decided you were Springsteen. And then your third record, you were electronic. Right. And then your fourth record, nobody cared anymore.
So the Killers.
The Killers, the Strokes, Oh God, they canceled, but they got canceled, but they just came back.
Oh God, I don't
No,
know.
no, 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 no. Arcade Fire.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know they got
They
canceled.
did that, you know.
They did do that. You're
I'm
right.
wearing the Japan Droids shirt today. I haven't heard of that in a while.
Yeah, they broke up very recently.
Oh really?
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
and bands I haven't thought about in years.
Well, Queens of the Stone Age
Oh
too.
well.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Bought from Queens of the Stone Age.
Reebok.
Well,
Dave Grohl was playing with them.
They'll never break up as long as until Josh Holmes ODs.
That's coming up.
Right.
It's coming up. So what else is coming up is Starscream. Starscream
Right.
can't
Oh,
stand it. He
And
is stuck. So this is the follow-up to Starscream's Brigade.
yes,
And
Right.
we go immediately into, and I think this is a part 2 of 3, maybe, or maybe part 2 of 4.
no, it's part two. It's a continuation. It's not really a part two, but kind of is.
But I mean,
It takes off from the cliffhanger of Starscream's Brigade.
Yeah.
but this is a part 2 of there's more after this though, right? Because we'll get to that at the end. But I think this is part of it. Like if it's not, then anyway. So Starscream is on this asteroid where we last saw him with the Combaticons, and he can't stand it. He can't stand it. He's so mad,
And they hate him.
So
They all hate him. He's alienated them in like no time at all.
and they just shoot him. The tank one just transforms and shoots him. This is great. So he gets mad.
My favorite part during this is Brawl saying if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be trapped. We wouldn't be trapped by Megatron. Well, actually, you totally would. You know, because he rescued them from prison and
That's
then
right,
just
that's
got
right.
them in prison and so at the very least it's a wash. You know, at the very least they're square.
Yeah, and Brawl's over there. He says like put Cybertron on the Revenge roster, but the subtitles say put Starscream on Roseanne's roster. Poor guy.
I could not figure out what he was saying. I backed it up, and I was like, "What's the Roseanne's roster? What's going on?" This is like
Rather Tom McDonald. What's his name?
Tom Arnold.
Canadian rapper.
Tom Arnold.
Not Tom Arnold, the Canadian rapper, Tom McDonald or something like that. He's terrible.
Oh.
Anyways, let's move on.
Starscream calls them military morons. I like
Yes,
that.
which I love.
I'm always a fan of the bespoke insults. That was a good one.
But
And it's always bonus points when it's not mechanical based.
Right.
You know,
right.
usually they're based on some sort of mechanical or computer thing, but this was in military morons.
Military morons. Yeah. Yep.
I gotta say though, that I really like once again the Combaticons are the most, I think the most together, like they best teamwork, best like I don't know, they have all their great qualities and they work together really well as a like almost like a little strike force team.
Well, they formed Bruticus like within like a minute of this episode. So I'm already on board with this. Like I get a combiner right out of the gate. They didn't mess around. They didn't pull the Voltron and be like, and get beat up for like 20 minutes and then form Blazing Sword at the end.
Yeah, well, they landed the asteroid on Cybertron. Like
I love when Shockwave is like, we're under attack. It's a spaceship pulling a rock. Like, chill out. Like, you know.
Yeah, they land and they jump off the asteroid and then they immediately start fighting with Shockwave. They are fighting with the little drones he has there, the Sentinel drones. And like I said, they turn into Bruticus and they start mopping the floor. And Shockwave transforms a gun and shoots him. And he gets back up and he looks on the ground. Shockwave's there in gun form. He's like, well, I might as well. Picks him up, shoots everyone, throws him in his turret, shoots him into space. I'm loving Bruticus right here.
Also, this one was a great one for me because it always annoys me when helicopter-based Transformers don't use their helicopter blades as a weapon in robot form. When he goes after those drone guys with the helicopter blade, cold-blooded. I love it.
That was such a vehicle Voltron moment.
I was just about to say that. He was getting swarmed. He just turned the rotor on and just like. But right after that, he did a kip up. He did like a Shawn Michaels style kip up.
He did do a kip up.
You're a massive dude to be doing that. It's great, man. It's like when you see like Bam Bam Bigelow doing a moonsault. And you're like, that's a big dude to be doing that moonsault, man. That's
Bam Bam Bigelow. The thing is, he sounds dumb, but obviously he's one of the best of the combiners. They think through things. They all sound dumb because they're like, Bruticus do this, but there's this line. Is it here? No, it's later. Okay, good. We'll get to it eventually. But it made me laugh so hard. But yeah, they basically pick up Shockwave, shoot him off into space, and they like, all right, Cybertron's ours. They loaded the bodies.
Space. It takes over. This is great. This is awesome. But then we cut to Earth, and we've got the Insecticons back. Where have these guys been? These guys have been gone for like a million episodes.
I have a theory about this episode because I realized looking at this and looking at how little we have left, because we have one more episode left after this of season 2. I think these guys must have been like, oh, this is the last time we're going to get to use a lot of these characters.
Kind of feels like it.
So, because they threw a lot of guys in here we haven't seen for a while, and the Insecticons are the first one. And by the way, what a great, like, this like side quest here is what a whole episode would have been. It was just the Insecticons eating things, turning it into Energon, sending it to Cybertron. Like, it's just an industry at this point.
But Megatron, like thousands of them. They're swarming this town,
and Megatron is like, he's like, hey, Dirge and Thundercracker, move the cubes to the bridge, but it's Dirge and Starscream. It's like painted just like Starscream. And there's a weird, like, there's some cells of this that weren't painted. They're like, they're completely blank white Insecticons everywhere.
But there were 7,000 Decepticons in every scene in this episode. There were so many Transformers in this episode. Which
I gotta know.
So you're already adding on fake points to this episode for them being so many Transformers in it.
I gotta know who was there, who's doing the voice of the munch, munch, munch. Because if you listen, it's the dude going munch, munch, munch. It's like do the vocalize the Decepticons.
The Decepticon voices are crazy.
So good. Munch, munch, munch.
Munch, munch, munch.
Yeah. Digitize that. It was so good. But man, okay, so Prowl shoots kickback and he's like snarls out Autobots, but the subtitles say more job apps. And let me tell you, as I've been going through Indeed, no more job apps. I'm good.
No more job
apps. No kickback. We're done.
They just show up and attack. They're not even messing around or parlaying. The Optimus Prime's like, there they are, attack, and we get a cool strike team. We get some old school guys.
Sideswipe, Prowl,
Drax, and Smokescreen.
I've seen Drax in a while.
But
Sideswipe and Sunstreaker were both in this episode. I love that. Those are my guys.
Those are cool guys. We have a city here that like y'all know I love cities. I'm not crazy about this city because
not a lot of signs.
They do this thing a lot where there's a town in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Right.
And this is one of those towns, like in the last one, that little small town where the reporter was and all that. That was one of those little towns, but it was in the middle. It was in like a crater almost, or like a box canyon.
Yeah,
but
it's like a Final Fantasy town.
It is.
It's like just walking through the wilderness, and then there's a town.
It's like Morton's found this town in the middle of the desert is what it looks like.
Right. There's no roads leading out. There's no like resources around here. Why do they live there? Like
they followed John Smith's teachings, man. They ended up here. Joseph Smith, whatever his name is.
Same thing.
Same guy. Doesn't matter.
There's some cool round buildings. There's a couple of buildings like from the cover of Wilco's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot.
Right.
I like that.
What I call the last Wilco record. I knew that was going to stick in your craw.
Ghost is Born is a good record.
Ghost is Born is okay, but I mean, if you want them to go out on top, it's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot.
The one after that's pretty good too. Sky Blue Sky is pretty good too.
Although I hear the most recent 2 records they went back to country rock, so I've been meaning to check that out.
They did an EP and that friend of the show Zach recommended I listen to, and it was one of those things that I've come to the realization that like I just can't absorb any new music that isn't a synthesizer anymore. And because every time I hear something new by like some new rock band, I'm like, this is great, and I never listen to it again.
Well, like, right.
So much music to like my Apple Music lately, and I'm like, it's cool, but unless it's like something that like I want to hear at the gym, unless it's like God's Hate or something like that, I'm just
right.
Like,
actually, they got me to check out Wilco again recently because they did a collab with one of my favorite bands, Fleet Foxes, and they kind of put it back on the radar. So it was, one of those things they, like I said, kind of folkish country rock. It's kind of cool. I dig it. But so now we have suddenly the Protectobots show up. He calls them.
Who are these guys?
They live in a garage, man.
Have we seen them before?
No, we did not. We don't get an intro of them. They just
They don't even
decided,
say
hey,
names.
we're not giving them an origin. They're just showing up.
It kind of tells me like when Mike was telling us about Mike Hill was telling us about how a lot of the riders would claim a combiner and they say, "Well, I'm going to ride by this one." Kind of feels like people are like, yeah,
Right.
they just kind of okay. We got to make toys for these, so put them in the show. And that's
They're
what I think.
all rescue guys. They're all red alerts. They're nerds. Who wanted to do that episode?
Yeah,
A whole team of safety bots.
Right.
Are they a combiner?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So are they one of those combiners like the aerial bots, like where just the head comes down and it's a little cube and it sticks into the shoulder and all that stuff? Like
yeah. He's up there somewhere. They fit into the shoulders and the legs and stuff. They were like a class of combiners called Scramble City Combiners.
Right.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. That's the ones I was thinking of. Like the
same kind of class.
Combaticons, right?
Yeah, this is like they needed to throw this one in the last minute, so they threw this in again and go against the Combaticons.
Who do they form into?
Superior. No, that's Protectobots. They form into. Oh my God,
Protecto guy.
Defensor.
Defensor. Okay.
That's even that's like nerd.
Yeah, but if you look at that's why I love Budiansky and his write-ups about characters. They were not like I think one of them first aid's a pacifist. Blades, who is the helicopter, is a psychopath. So I mean, he actually shows up at the G2 comics. He's like got bandoliers across his chest, 2 guns. He's kind of a warmonger, but he's part of Protectobots because I guess they needed a loose cannon on there.
He gets used in the Energon books pretty recently too, right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering that correct? Yeah.
I think so. There's so much going on in the Energon books right now too.
Right.
Yeah, Ed, you need to check this out. But so yeah, they live in a fire station. They're like the Ghostbusters. They just hang out in town, and wait for a call.
They live in a fire station in this town where all this stuff happened to be going down. That's a great coincidence.
They also followed the golden plaques and followed Joseph Smith's word to live in the middle of the desert.
Right.
And sorry for any of our Mormon listeners. I love you guys. So
in high school, I dated almost exclusively Mormons, so I'm not going to hate on you guys.
Well, there were a lot of them out.
Those girls were super fun.
A little Rumspringa, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man, and so they just hang out in the firehouse, come out and start protecting people. Like they start taking people and like loading them up in the car, and it's a very anime centric, like an early anime 80s anime kind of thing where there's all these people crammed in streetwise, and there's a guy laying on the ground. They're like, and they go pick him up with first aid and they get him out of there. And then they clear out the city, and Autobots start shooting everything. So property values are going way down really quickly there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in that one car. Like it was very much like a Donkey Kong face in there. That was with the plus signs for teeth and all that. I like seeing that. So that
was kind of fun thing.
I like the idea though that there's like a franchise of Transformers in like every town. Like you go to another town and there's another combiner there that like hangs out in a garage all day and you go to people or whatever.
They're just sitting around doing nothing, watching TV, until they get the call finally.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because Optimus Prime can drive anywhere in the continental United States within like 45 seconds. So,
sure.
I think it'd be cool if you went to like Miami and there was like a bunch of Ferraris that came out and they transformed.
What was it? It was the magnetic center of Africa or something like that. The one episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! He just drove to Africa one day from I guess Oregon. So yeah, man. Then we go back to your favorite nerd, Perceptor. Teaching he actually Spike's like, look, a shooting star. Actually, Spike, that's a meteorite crashing in. Like, man, just let the guy have it for a second,
man. And let me tell you something. There's this thing. Phil Hester, the comic book artist, is the first person I ever read saying this, but I'm sure he's not the first one who said this. That Jack Kirby and H.P. Lovecraft write about the same thing. But which is the vastness of the universe and all the things that can be out there in the cosmos. It's just that Lovecraft thinks it's horrible and frightening, and Kirby thinks it's awesome. Spike really is sounding very Lovecraftian in this. He's very much like, space is so vast. I've looked into the abyss and I saw more abyss. Like he's not digging the idea of the infinite of space in this.
I'll give you that. But the Perceptor just crushes his nihilistic dreams.
That's accurate. But I'll say there are a lot of planets. There's more planets than we're supposed to have
in our solar system.
There's a lot of extra planets going on here. I want to know where these are coming from.
Spike, that's not solar system.
That's something that I decided in my child headcanon that after the Ultimate Doom, when they pulled Cybertron into our orbit, Cybertron just stayed in our solar system.
I think it's supposed to be there, but there were like more planets. There were like I counted like 10 planets, and so.
Well, you remember when we were younger, Planet X, right? They were going to find Planet X. It was out there somewhere. Do you remember that?
No, that sounds like something.
Like the 10th planet.
I think that's a Rob Zombie album.
It probably is, actually.
I think it was Planet MF, actually. I think it was the Rob Zombie album.
Welcome
to it.
Oh, man. So, yeah.
Butthead, what do you think MF stands for? Pretty cool. So, welcome to Planet Pretty Cool.
So, speaking of space is big, right?
Yeah, and huge. Shockwave just runs into Starscream. Like that was cool.
But don't see each other coming. Hey, here's this guy in the middle of his face. No, and like they don't even like discuss it like it's weird. I feel like you should at least discuss it. Hey, that's pretty weird that we ran into each other in the vastness of space.
I wanted traveler rules here, like RPG traveler rules. I wanted like Shockwave to push in like. Break open like Starscream. There's these two forces in space. He should just like crash into each other and destroy each other. But no, they like, hey buddy, what you doing?
Shockwave rides him like a pony, and they decide to go to Cybertron.
My note in my thing with this was Shock Pickens.
Oh God,
it was like Slim Pickens riding the which is his 2 episodes in a row. I've brought up Slim Pickens, by the way. Maybe I'm going to try to keep that going.
Not enough. There's a great Slim Pickens reference in the finale of season 2 of Beast Wars, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yes. I'll see if I can find you a little clip later. It's so funny.
I need to see that.
Oh, it's so good. Anyways, so yeah, they Slim Pickens his way back to Cybertron on top of Starscream.
So what we find out here is that the Combaticons have taken over Cybertron, but they found that you could just use Cybertron to fly the Earth. You can just pilot the Earth. You can drive Earth from.
Well, I mean, essentially, they're reusing the Ultimate Doom.
They're
using the space bridge to move a planet.
Well, they reuse a lot of different TV shows in this episode. There's a lot. There's like 5 episodes in this show,
and there's also like 5 MacGuffins in this.
Yeah, there are.
I love that though. They reference all these other episodes. Like Onslaught's like, I'm going to use a space bridge to crash the Earth and the sun. We get double revenge today, guys.
Right?
He doesn't waste any time
doing that. I don't know how far I don't think I made notes of it, but they. When they start, they're trying to push the Earth into the sun to destroy all the because the Combaticons want to destroy the Decepticons. So okay, fine, that's valid. But that whole plot, they go into this whole thing of like it's getting hot on Earth and fires are catching and the protective bots are going around putting fires out and all this kind of stuff. And everybody's thirsty and all this stuff, which is a Twilight Zone episode. That whole thing is a Twilight Zone episode called Sun, which is a very good Twilight Zone episode. And I was like, well, there's an episode right there. You just crammed another episode of something else into this show.
By the way, this episode, very socially irresponsible for the times. Because I don't know if you remember, but there was that thing in the 80s that there was the worry about kids getting into old refrigerators.
Yeah.
That had like a locking mechanism on them and suffocating.
Right. Yeah.
But the solution to this episode, the Protector Bots come up with is, hey, let's just put everybody in the fridge. Let's just cram as many people in the fridge as we possibly can.
Temperatures are going up anyways.
Fix this.
That happened in my house yesterday, man. I had the AC going. It couldn't keep up with the heat. It was so hot. My AC was just like, buddy, I'm sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, that actually happened. So yeah, real world factors creeping into the episode.
Yeah, I had the same thing yesterday. I had it set to like 72, and it would not get below 78.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that number I didn't believe because I was sweating.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Is it broken?" I'm like, "No, it's just hot."
Just I have two. I have two AC units, and one runs the front, and one runs the back. But like I have no shade in the front really. So in the front of the house, it does that same thing where it's like 3 or 4 degrees warmer than I set it at. But in the back of the house, I have like a giant oak tree, and it's not in the direct sun, so it's fine.
Right.
So yeah, so like it's warm. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to bed because it feels nice. It feels nice back there.
Yeah, we slept in the living room last night because of that.
But so the Insecticons go eat the space bridge. That was pretty cool because those guys just eat everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
that was a baller move when the Autobots were going for it, and he just goes and bites a big hunk out of it. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Megatron's like, hey, Shrapnel, stop them from taking the space bridge. He goes, okay, I'm going to take this piece and leave. Bye.
Right.
No planning after that. He's just gone.
I want to use that tactic one day where like, hey, the dog's about to eat that pizza, and I'll just eat the pizza instead. I'll just eat the whole pizza.
Oh man, yeah. Though, though we're back on Cybertron though, and like Shockwave's using the projector to make mechanical crab squid aliens attack in Cybertron.
Right before that though, there's a really funny thing where Onslaught's explaining the plan to the rest of the Combaticons. And he sees that Brawl like is distracted and looking up in the sky, and he goes, "Brawl, what is it?" But the subtitles say, "Bro, what is it?"
Bro, what is it?
I'm just gonna call that guy Bro from now on.
Good enough.
So we get some flying tentacle robots got teleported in from Warhammer 40,000 to that was cool. You guys know that's my jam, and I was very excited to see these guys. But then I was bummed out because it was all an illusion that he was playing. He turned them into gargoyles from Warhammer Fantasy Battles, which was almost as cool. So.
Basically, the Combaticons are cats. They're just being distracted by a laser pointer.
God, that's
like they don't at any point learn that it's an illusion. They just keep firing.
Yeah, they keep firing. But eventually they figure it out. It's these cool like I like the buttons on that on the little projector or whatever. But they Shockwave and Starscream show up in this little battle. They get thrown in jail in the same cell. There's 15 cells in this room. They throw them both in the same cell.
Before that though,
these two guys who kind of hate each other, who are Raymond and Robert, and they throw them in the same cell.
Before that happens, though, they go into like the little room where the Onslaught's got his gun piece from his back controlling the space bridge, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. And Shockwave's like, "Oh no, they're going to destroy the Earth! All the Autobots are there, and also Megatron." And Starscream's like, "Megatron, really? That's fine." He's like, "No, you can't destroy." And it's like two exes fighting over a guy the one's still in love with and one hates, like baby thing, and like. Oh, just come on, guys! And that's when they get found out after they shoot each other and they get thrown in jail together. So now after they had the awkward time, they're in jail together.
Starscream is the most Starscream in this episode. He's Starscream turned to 11 in this episode.
Well, because he's like, I'll throw the Earth into the sun just to take out Megatron.
Right.
But that's not good enough though. Like he has to acknowledge that I'm the leader before I do it. He could have just won.
Right.
He could have just been like, okay, he could have ruled the entire universe. He could have been the master of he could have been He-Man. He could have been the master of the universe in this whole thing. All he had to do was be like, just sit there, do nothing. He could have done nothing.
He has some Thanos level nihilism in this. He's like, I'm fine with every other being in the universe being dead. Because that means I rule.
Yeah. And what's he going to do? Just have him turn into a jet and fly around and just look at nothing. That's
right. Cool. But I'm the leader. I won. Then, the Autobots are looking around the space bridge for the console. They find an old TV that's broken. Did you notice that? They found this something. Oh, there's something here. Dig it up. There's like an old CRT. Like, oh, okay. And Megatron is trying to figure out what they're looking for. He's trying to figure out what their game is. And I don't know why Megatron's like they're just letting the Autobots like look around the space bridge, dig around, like nothing's wrong here. Right. I guess they figure they're not going anywhere. Protectobots show up a bunch again. They've put out fires in farmland, that sort of thing.
So they're helping these people, like you guys said earlier. They were putting people in the refrigerator, and this was the animation was funny because it was like two of these guys standing next to a door, and then like a group of like young men come in, but like they just looped that that group of dudes, and so they came in like 3 times, just like, and while the other two, all the protective bots were talking, it was pretty funny. Um,
Yeah, there was the whole thing going on with like Starscream, taking his victory lap, and that's when Megatron and Optimus Prime start realizing they got to work together. They got to
Right.
find the Insecticons because there's a piece of the console missing
Yet another plot in this, yet another
Right.
episode in this episode. This
from
is
the Ultimate
they had
Doom.
to go get the, they had to go get the work together to get the control panel from
Like
the,
it's a MacGuffin for the MacGuffin. You need the
Yeah.
thing to make the thing work.
Yeah,
yes, like the Jason Momoa Conan movie.
Right.
I liked it. It wasn't a good Conan movie. It was a fun adventure movie.
God, he's such good casting for Conan. It's just a bummer that it wasn't great.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's fine, but it should have been awesome.
It was a good fantasy movie. It wasn't a good Conan movie.
Right.
I don't know that it was a good fantasy movie. I didn't really care for it.
I think it was good. I like watching those guys movie.
There you go. Exactly.
I like watching Momoa. I like watching Hellboy.
Well, Hellboy's actually good though. So
yeah.
Well, the first one's actually good.
I mean, know what I'm saying? Hellboy in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, he's like Conan's dad or something,
yeah,
right?
That's right. Okay.
No, Hellboy. The first 2 Hellboy movies are awesome. I'm not casting disparaging on that.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything past that. And I'm good with that. I'm going to stay there. They finding Insecticons in a parking garage. They like bust through the wall and they're like, well, hey, there's a sedan over here. Guess I have a little dessert. Starts grabbing hunks off the car.
Staring the control panel around. They just got clutching this control panel to his chest, like he's like saving it as a snack for later.
I wish he would have worn it around his neck like Flava Flav.
Oh God, yeah. They just like they all show up at the same time. Like Megatron's like, we need that, and Decepticon's like, uh-oh, and they transform and they leave. They leave the control panel behind. There's no fight. I kind of figure they take it with them. Like, oh, we have a little thing to use against them. No, they just like we're out.
They didn't have time. This is like we're at like 22 minutes in this episode, and it's like we've already watched 5 episodes of Transformers. Like another one.
When we talked to Mike a few weeks ago, and we talked about how sometimes they would send out more just to make sure they got enough back. I almost feel like this episode was like they didn't get enough back for like 2 episodes, and they just crammed them together.
I think that's because and we come to the end. Well, Bruticus forms again, and he crushes the Sentinels. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which was a good battle. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. It was cool and good. I liked it. But right after that, Megatron reprograms Bruticus, and that's the end of the episode. That is just the end of the episode. And I was like, well, that's like, is this part 2?
Well, we also had Chekhov's hologram here because we introduced with the hologram thing to the projector to distract the Combaticons, but then it actually has a use in the end when they use it to fool Optimus Prime.
I love it. So that's why I'm like, just gonna let us leave? Not even gonna shoot us? Like Megatron's like, come on, go. Thank God. Okay, work on him. There was this great line though, right before he goes down there. Brutus is like, Bruticus hates Cybertron. Bruticus hates you more. You sound like such a wrestler thing to do.
I think that I missed some of that because, I think every time I would take a note, that there would be like a whole other subplot would just happen and be
right.
Yeah.
Right, 100%.
Me taking a note. There was so much, and that was it. And that was the episode. But I say that was it. Like that was it. No, I just got bombarded with so many concepts of Transformers in not a whole lot of time.
It was fun. I mean,
but I'm gonna say straight up, this was a good episode.
All killer, no filler.
This was a good episode. I don't think it was quite as it was fun and there was a lot going on. It was like a massive circus. I don't think it was as good as the first part as Starscream's Brigade, which I liked a lot, which I think maybe one of the highest rated episodes I've done so far. But it was still really good, and there is a lot going on. There's a lot of combiner stuff going on, and I love the combiners. I guess we got new Autobots introduced in this episode. I don't know if this is one of those things where it aired out of order or what.
I mean, it definitely feels like they should have focused on them being introduced, but they were just kind of side characters in this.
Right. So I mean, I have outside of as Kid Brain has very few complaints on this. The Kid Brain's gonna go 4 military morons out of 5. Adult Brain's probably not far off the mark. I just think that I honestly think there was too much going on, and I would have liked this better if this was broken up into 2, or if they would have just dumped the stuff with the Insecticons. But I love the Insecticons, so I mean it's kind of a thing. So it's hard to, I don't know. I think if this was, so can you confirm this is not part 2 of 3? This is just things from status quo after this? Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're still like, the Combaticons are still used. Sorry, the Combaticons are still used a lot in even the next episode. But this is definitely just a like kind of a 2-parter.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Adult Brain's going to go just because it was just so much going on, and I think that some of the stuff could have breathed a little bit better. Adult Brain's going to go 3.5 television shows named after giant corporations. In this case, I guess I'll make a new one, and I will give it 3.5 Microsoft variety playhouses out of 5. Where are you guys with this?
Very original.
I'm gonna go with Kid Brain would have loved this one. As I've said many times, what I liked as a kid was when there was lots of Transformers. Yeah. The story could be nothing, and as long as there was a lot of Transformers, I would have liked it. So I'm gonna give Kid Brain would have given this 5 of my favorite insult from this, that one of the Combaticons called Megatron, which was 5 mega bums.
Mega bums.
Mega bums.
I didn't even catch that. That's good. I didn't even catch that.
Adult Brain, again, not going much lower. This was a wild mess, but what really was the cherry on top for me in this, my favorite one as a kid was probably Sideswipe. Even though I never owned him, I just thought that was a real cool design. I thought his little file card read good. And you guys might not have noticed, but Sideswipe kind of wins in this episode. He's the guy who does the final beep, bloop, 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 bloop that makes the sun come back from, or the earth come back from the sun. So I would give this 3 Sideswipe wins.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, man, this is all, like I said, all killer, no filler. There's a lot going on in this episode. And I love the Combaticons. I actually was able to finally complete my Bruticus just today. He looking sharp over there. Probably my favorite combiner, and as far as the show goes, just because the individuals are so good. I mean, there's nothing about this was bad. There was, like you said, there was so many things going on in this episode. It felt like there were so many plots left on the cutting room floor. They just like, we'll put that in there too. It'll fit. Right. That makes sense. So man, I gotta easily give this. Whereas I liked the Starscream Brigade's one of my favorite episodes. I like that a bit better. I mean, I gotta give this 4.5 random firehouses from Mormon cities in the desert out of 5, easily. With Protectobots living in them. Right. It was fun. There was nothing wrong with this at all, and it's a good way. And in a big way, I almost felt like this could have been the last episode of season 2. Because it goes on, it's such a banger, but the next one's kind of fun in different ways.
Right.
So I look forward to that. Yeah, man, we're closing in on the end of season 2 and the Transformers the movie, and I cannot wait. Did you buy the on iTunes it was a $5 for both of them for G.I. Joe and Transformers?
$5 for G.I. Joe the movie and Transformers the movie. I didn't get it. That sale ended before I was going to come back and get it. But that sale's ended. But I think that the movie is still. I think it's still just $5. So I'm probably
guys, to prepare for this, I was going to try to buy the Transformers the movie soundtrack on eBay on cassette. Which is the format I first had it in, but. That's $60, so that wasn't happening. But I got it on vinyl for a pretty good price, and I've been listening to that a lot since then. So
is it the fancy that swirl vinyl that they did?
It's like a yellowy swirl vinyl. Yeah.
Okay. Those I used to be a massive vinyl collector, and I kind of fell out of it. But all these cool soundtracks that I'll never listen to that keep coming out, I keep wanting to buy those because they look so cool. Like today, I saw our local shop here got a copy of The Thing soundtrack, which is Ennio Morricone. I didn't know that. Right. And it's on trapped under ice vinyl, which is it's like a blue and white.
Right.
That's so cool.
It's like a ripple thing or whatever. And like
Right.
I want to own it so bad just so I can open it up and look at it every now and then. Like I bought the soundtrack to Miami Connection. You guys know Miami? You guys know that movie Miami Connection?
I don't.
It was some super low budget 80s action movie. And if you think in your mind, if you think of the most 80s action movie that you can think of,
A Miami Vice episode?
85. What's that?
A Miami Vice episode?
Okay, but not a Miami Vice. It's not as moody because Miami Vice is very moody and brooding. Like I like Miami Vice a lot. And
Less glass bricks and more action.
But like, so if you took like the aesthetic of Miami Vice and then you're like, okay, what is the best C grade action movie I can think of? Like Best of the Best or No Retreat, No Surrender or something like that.
Like a Canon Films type thing.
Right, very much a Canon Films thing. But then, and you and your friends were like, "Hey, man, I've got like $2,000 to spend on making this movie. Let's make this movie." And, and that's it. But it has a soundtrack of like actual like an actual band performed this stuff. This band called Dragon Sound did the soundtrack. And,
that's a great band name.
My God, that's a great band name.
It is. It's fantastic. But like the big track is called Against the Ninja. And it is like if you took like Gloria Estefan and like DeBarge and smashed it up and it's
Miami.
so good. But like I have a beautiful black and I think it's turquoise and pink vinyl of that soundtrack. I think that it pressed like 200.
No other colors are fit for that. That's perfect.
But anyway, that movie got lost though. Because the guy made it and it aired like on TV one time or something like that. And so somebody had been trying to some dude saw like a part of it on a VHS rip, and he had been trying to so he was trying to track down the guy that directed it because the dude lost like thousands of dollars directing this movie. And so he kept trying to contact the guy, and the guy just thought he was joking. He's like, nobody wants to see this, man. It's dude just messing with me, whatever. Somebody I owe money to is trying to get rights for Miami Connection. But it turns out the guy was like seriously wanted to see it. He finally got it, and it got like a full like Blu-ray like reissue like I think like 10 years ago or something like that. So
dope.
Miami Connection, check it out.
Yeah,
that's a sweet. All the movies I want to go on Blu-ray and you even get the Miami Connection. Kidding. No man, this is cool. So yeah, we'll get into that. I told these guys I have a little simple thing out at Hasbro and see if we can do the movie as we watch it. But if we can't, we'll do a review of it. No less. But anyways, guys, y'all take it easy and always fun to do this. And give us a like, give us a follow. And Ed, if you want to take us out of here, man.
R.I.P. Ozzy. Go Hangman Page and roll out.
Roll out. See you later. More Than Meets These Guys, a Transformers podcast, is performed by Evan Johns, Boo of the ExcellentUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Research is done by Evan Johns, Boo of the ExcellentUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Special thanks to Hasbro, Marvel, Skybound, and the occasional extra property which we will name at whatever time is appropriate for that episode. And without all of you, this is really not even possible. So thanks for being here, and thanks for checking us out every week. Goodbye.